Yup, that's me. Probably wondering how I got here. Well, let me explain. If you're anything like me, and I know you're watching this video, so you are, you've been down the long rabbit hole of watch collecting. So you start scouring the internet for your next fix, or watching countless YouTube videos, Reddits, and other forums. You go back on Aliexpress and you find a whole nother land of possibilities. That land being, hey, don't like what you see? How about you build your own watch? And so it begins. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all the watch tools I use, and I'll link them all in the description below on where I got them from or where you can find your own at Aliexpress.com. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Alright guys, tool number one. I believe that this is the most important tool in the watchmaking arsenal, and that's a pair of fine-tip tweezers. Now there are many tweezers online that you can find, but the ones that I recommend is just your basic fine-tip tweezer. I use them mainly for the hands, the case back screws, and the case back gaskets. Alright, next up in the arsenal is the case back removal tool. This one I actually got at DIY Watch Club, but you can find them on AliExpress as well. Definitely a great little tool for removing the case backs that actually have the notches for the case itself. Not all of them have it though. Alright, next is the dial pad or movement pad. Basically, I use this pad just to make sure I don't get any scratches on the back of the movement. It's very soft. You can get them for a couple bucks on AliExpress. Also great for visual effects as well, but it keeps the dial nice and placed. And then the bottom part is more sticky, so it doesn't move on regular surfaces like a smooth desk. All right, now here's a dial holder. I use this one mainly for when I paint dials, so you won't see too much of this on a lot of builds. As you can see here, I have one for one of my custom painted dials. It just holds the dial in place. It firmly holds the dial down in place that way, and it also doesn't lift the dial as well. When you're painting, it's something that I use frequently. That way I can make those precision lines with the paintbrush and pens, and I use it on 99% of my paint dials. Alright, next off is the air blower. Self-explanatory. Use it to clean off any dust particles, lint, anything like that. It keeps the dial clean, and you have to use this every time you're working on any kind of components within the watch. Dust particles get everywhere. You don't want them in the watch when it's sealed up. Alright, next up is the movement holder. Pretty self-explanatory as well. It just holds the movement for moving around when you're placing the hands on the dial, and it keeps it nice and firm, doesn't allow it to fall. I use it all the time. And it has several adjustments, so you can use it on bigger dials, smaller dials, square dials, round dials, and they're pretty universal actually. So I have two of them actually. I have this bigger one, and then I'm going to show you a smaller one here in a second. Don't really use the smaller one that much, but here it is. It's mainly for the smaller, Seiko tanks or any kind of tank style watch, or just the smaller women's style watches. This one actually came with the big one and the small one on AliExpress, just for a couple bucks. You can get most of these tools for under, all of them for under like 30 bucks. All right, next up, Rodico. Now this looks like silly putty, I know, but it's actually very important. So you roll it up into this like basically looking tip thing, so you can actually hold. It'll pick up and hold the hands of the dials. It'll also clean. So as you'll see here, it's holding the seconds hand on this movement, or I'm sorry, not seconds hand, minute hand on this movement, and it allows it to keep steady. But it also, cleans off dust particle. Speaking of clean, next up are finger cots. These are very important when watch building. I think I paid $5 for it on Aliexpress. Your fingers and hands have oils, contaminants, and it's gonna show up on your watch dial if you're not careful. Alright, next up, rubber ball. You might be thinking, why a rubber ball? But it's gonna be to remove your case back. Again, you can use this as another version to remove the case back or tighten your case back off of your watch. You can have it inflated or deflated, doesn't matter. It's basically the friction that occurs between the watch back or the case back and the rubber ball itself. Alright, next up is the jeweler's loop. Now if you got young fresh eyes, you won't really need these too often, but as your eyes get older, and also if you don't want to strain your eyes, a jeweler's loop is necessary for any watch build. Alright, next up, I just recently got this, as I was tired of using microfiber towels, is the lens cleaning pen. It has two sides. The bottom side is more of a brush to clean off any kind of contaminants. And then the other side you use to clean off the lens. So it's two-part. This part pops off, and then you can see the felt tip on there. Felt is actually very great for cleaning glass or anything like that, as I demonstrate on my Apple Watch. But I picked this up at Aliexpress, $5. Also needed to clean my jeweler's loop because it was looking a little dusty. But this is good for the back side of the crystal and the top side, along with clear case backs. $5 at Aliexpress, not bad. Alright, now here is the lubrication for the case back gaskets. Most of these gaskets, this is not necessary, but I like to always put lubrication on the little gasket. You'll see as a demonstration there. Take my tweezers, put it in the container, put the lid on, and then just move it back and forth a few times. It's going to lube up that gasket. Alright, next up I have these all in my little box here. A plethora of small screwdrivers. That's a mini flathead, or I'm sorry, not mini flat, mini Phillips. This is a bracelet removal tool. Basically, it's gonna get into where the lugs are for the watch. It removes the spring bars that hold the bracelet to the actual case itself. Very good tool to have in your arsenal. A lot of these came with the actual bracelets though that I purchased from Aliexpress, so you don't have to necessarily go out and buy one. That was another flathead, alright, and another spring bar removal tool. This actually goes with my Dremel. I threw it in here just to keep my tools together, if I can get it out. There you go. But I've also noticed it's actually very good as another case back removal tool. You can stick that little end in there and just pop off the case if it's one of those pop on, pop off case backs. It's good to have a variety. More Phillips. And then this is a dial hand pusher. So when you put the hands onto the post, you use this push down directly above the hands, like I'm demonstrating here, using the rodicle to hold it, and then you push down on the center of the hand, and it pushes onto that post. I have two of them. One is for the hour and minute hand, and the other one is for the seconds hand. Very important tool to have. I'd say this is more important than even the tweezers. Alright, finally in this box is the hand removal tool. So if you're rebuilding a watch or you need to take the hands off for any reason, you place these two together and just use the leverage and pop off the hands. Also needed in case you mess up or if you're restoring a watch. I take hands off all the time. Okay, now this next tool, this digital caliper, is not a necessity, but it is good to have to measure out the stem for the crown, because you do have to trim most stems to fit within the case. You'll see in a lot of my videos, like I'm performing here, you have to cut out you have to measure where you have to cut the stem. It's great to have these calipers. As you can see, it's digital. Didn't cost me much on Aliexpress. I literally paid $1.21 at the time. So very cheap, easy to use. Don't even need it just for watches. It's great for measuring. Good tool to have in the toolbox. And along with the calipers, you need a Sharpie. I just use this Sharpie. It's actually a pretty fancy Sharpie. It's a paint pen, so I use it for a lot of my artwork. Just use it to mark the edge where you need to cut the stem for the crown. Plain and simple. And then what do you use to cut the stem? That's right, pliers. These are just normal home pliers, nothing crazy. A few bucks, get yourself a nice set of pliers. Also, not just for watches, for many other things. As you can see here, I'm using another set of needle nose pliers, but it also has the cut function. Cut the part of the stem, and there you go. All right, finally, last up on the list. This is not a necessity for watch building. I've probably built 10 plus watches, and the last one I had to make was for my father-in-law, but it actually required a crystal press, which I've never used before, and I had a hard time putting that crystal on, so it was not easy. As you can see here, I'm demonstrating with the watch I built for my father-in-law. Most of the watches come with the crystal already on it, but this one you had to have separate for some reason. Well, not for some reason, basically because the case was the dial and movement holder. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for all the tools that I use within the arsenal. These will all help you start your watch building journey. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll leave links down below for all these tools that I have showed you in this video today. Thanks guys, till the next one.